Good evening, everyone. Welcome to round 4 of the Jackknife Racing.tv Formula 3 League. This time we're at Jerez, which is not how you say it in the Spanish language or the Portuguese language, but that's how I'm saying it. In the booth with me, as usual, is Bruce. Hello, Bruce. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm all right. It's already Easter Saturday here, so I had yesterday off, which was nice. So my desk looks like a mobile phone repair shop, as I've been building a new Vio Core 5-inch dashboard for my rig. So that's all good fun to fire at the 3D printer and get some stuff building. So no, it's all good. All good out here in Oz.
Sounds good. Yeah, we're on Good Friday over in the UK right now. So it's been a nice chilled day. Pretty much went to the cinema, saw the Mario Brothers movie. It was entertaining.
Not the Barbie movie.
Not yet. I'll wait for that to come out.
I think that will be pretty good, to be fair. But we're not here to talk about Mario running around, although these cars can be Mario Kart-esque at times. We're here at Jerez for the Jackknife Racing F3 League All-Round, number 3, off the top of my head, if that serves me correctly. Or 4, yeah, it doesn't serve me correctly. One of those things just keeps on building upon. We've got a few new members in the league tonight. We've got, shout out to Simon Farrington, who's one of my V8 teammates. Thought he'd come and have a crack as well. We've also got some names that I'm going to completely butcher, so I'll let you say them.
So we have Roger is really fast, terrified our competitors when he was coming along. Not sure if he's going to be a regular or it's going to be a one-off appearance because he can't normally do evenings, but we are looking forward to seeing him. We got Matt Tolman, he's joined the league as well, looking forward to doing some F3 leagues. He hasn't done any leagues before in iRacing, so hopefully we'll give him a good impression of how fun league racing can be.
Yep. So when you say Roger Vu, you mean, is it Nikolai?
I don't know how to do the J in that. It's not an I, it's a J, so I'm just going to call him Roger Vu. And that's enough.
Cool. Yeah, so it was funny watching our established guys just basically go, oh, there goes the race. So he's definitely quick. Just looking at the practice times, he's done 1:29.7 ahead of Tom Lennox Brown at 1:30. So just when we think we've got boys that are fast and you think this is as fast as they're going to get. And to be honest, we were, I think, quite privileged and lucky in the early days of the league with Mattis Madison, who literally is one of the fastest top 5 guys in F3 on his day on the right track. So we got spoiled with Mattis sort of walking away. But I think if Mattis came back now, he'd have a fight on his hands.
Yeah, he definitely would. Mattis obviously did a lot of good racing. Tobias couldn't really keep up with him. But they did have some good on-track battles in the first few races of Season 1. But we do have some really quick people when they turn up, as it looks like someone just died.
Was
Marco Honegger, as the session comes to an end. Sorry, I just took a big drink of 7-Up.
Right at the wrong time. What I will quickly do, I will just jump on and let the competitors know about, because they'll be all in session now. You read about the rolling start, I'll just let them know about that. And if you want to just chat to our viewers for a few seconds, I'll just have a quick chat to the field before they get busy.
Yeah, I was just waiting for a few people to come out of the pits. Looks like Team Woody representative Armando Vasquez, he's coming out first. Looks like Roger Vu spins just behind him, so hasn't started well for him. But luckily right at the start of the session, not too bad. Actually, Vasquez is not the first one out on track. That honour goes to René Helmut in the Team Swede car as he comes down the back straight now. Let me just minimise this quickly so I can tell you the track name as we head down to. I know Lester was looking forward to me commentating on this corner, but it was named the Pedrosa corner, so that's what we're going to name it from now on. Named after obviously Danny Pedrosa from MotoGP, just like a few of these corners are actually named after, but we don't have the Ayrton Senna chicane because it's the Moto layout at Jerez.
Why is every chicane called the Senna S? I thought that was like a trademark thing with his logo in Interlagos.
It's not called the Senna S, it's called the Senna Senna Chicane.
But does the chicane look like an S?
Not really. It looks more like a Suzuka.
As far as I'm concerned, you could call every track in the corner could have that gentleman. He was definitely. I don't know if you actually, you probably didn't, because I was lucky enough to actually be a kid and watch him race live.
I believe I was 3 when the unfortunate accident happened.
Yeah, so I can remember that to the day that happened. But some of the races, and from one of my mind, is the race between Senna and Mansell at Monaco.
Yeah.
Just freaking amazing. Where Mansell had by far the faster car, but couldn't get past Senna, which is brilliant to watch. So definitely, if you get a chance, go and watch some of those classic F1 races, especially Prost versus Senna.
I think I saw, like, it was like one of his best ever laps or something at the Adelaide qualifying or something. Where it might have been one of the Driver 61, where he views like old styles of car and just how of a master Senna was and getting the car rotated through different means than his peers at the time.
Oh my god, the Adelaide race in the wet that he was in, that was just ridiculous. I think he did a full 360 on top of a curb and kept going. It's just nuts, that race, to watch live. So yeah, definitely some things go and to get the archives and have a look.
As we're just waiting for a few times, are going to be starting to come along. René Helmut will be first in that number 2 car as he comes now down to Lorenzo. Nice sweeping left-handed hairpin coming across the line, which is all the way to the end of the straight. So that could be some photo finishes if anyone's close enough on the races.
Do we just have a coming together between Hugh Morris and Daniel Nesterovic? I'm seeing some stuff. I heard Daniel on the radio, and I'm seeing some stuff coming up in my software.
Trying to look. Let's have a quick look. We do have the power of the replay. So
maybe nothing.
Hugh Morris on.
Oh, okay.
That might have to be written down for or sent to the stewards, because that looks online slowing down.
I think he dropped the wheel off. So.
As we are starting to get a few times in now, Rogevu is currently in P1, half a second quicker than Lennox Brown, who's an absolute tank in these cars. Marco Honegger, purple in sector 3 though. What's he going to be able to manage as he comes through the final corner, heading down through the DRS zone, which obviously these cars don't have, but there you go, Jurgen showing you getting out of the way on the racing line as Marco goes within 3/10 of Rogevu. So very, very good slap there from Marco, our current leader in the championship.
So our defending champion, Alan Kwan, he actually did some laps, did some races here in preparation for potentially doing this event with one hand. So he actually started streaming some of that, and so I just jumped in and chatting to him whilst that happened. He's still faster than me with one hand tied behind his back, literally. But our defending champ's still really not up to strength to the point where he can compete and race with that wrist that was damaged in that week 13 silliness with LMP2s and an oval.
We'll do it on board while we talk. Just some background with Rogevu. Let's see how he does all this. Nice driving. It'd be nice to see Alan back at some point soon. I think he goes on holiday next week. Anyway, so he's definitely not around for next week's race.
So I'd say that I think I can almost say most definitely that means that Alan will unfortunately not be able to defend his championship this season, unless we give him like nine drop rounds out of 10, or however many it is. So that basically means that. Exactly. That means that there is no championship, it's just whoever wins the last heat. So that means that it really puts Marco Honegger in the current, I was going to say box seat, but I don't want to jinx him. Puts Marco Honegger in the position of the person who is doing the most work with his eye on the title. That's the way I will phrase it. So yeah, Marco's definitely been doing the work so far, and you can see that by his P2 in a moment on the timing screen. Just as I say that, Armando Vasquez goes quicker. So just and as does Rene Helmut, and Marco drops to P5. So just a quick recap, as you can see on the timing screen. Nicolas Roger-Vu currently in P1 with a 30.4. Vasquez Jr. only 5 hundredths behind in P2.
Not anymore.
Rene Helmut, not anymore. Okay, there we go. Of death, it should. Yep, we're going to have to look at this qualifying in. We'll just remind them.
Be kind in qualifying, don't kill each other. Mr. Kwan has jumped in chat though. Must be like, have your clocks changed yet, Bruce?
Yeah, they have. So right now it would be 5 a.m.
Perthy time,
I think.
5 a.m. That's a dedication of the injured Kwan.
Where is the Kwan?
He's in chat.
Oh, he's in Twitch chat. No, I was thinking Discord chat.
No.
Thinking we could drag him into the commentary booth.
But Rene Helmut, he is not having a good time trying to get quicker, as he's currently now down in P5. Victor Solano has moved into that P4 position. Rene Helmut, 2 slow sectors in the middle, but bookended by good ones. But it doesn't count at all. He must have had an off track somewhere. That's unfortunate for Rene. Position 10, is that a little spin? That's Ken Russell. So not a good qualifying for Ken Russell at the moment.
It sounds like someone else has killed him.
It looks like other Henrik he's lurking.
So it's really interesting. So we've had relatively clean qualifying so far in this series, and we're having a lot of contact in this particular track. I'm going to put it down to the track and the layout as opposed to what's going on. And we've just had confirmation in Twitch chat that our defending champion is going to be out for the rest of the season with no more racing for the next 8 weeks. So that's a real shame for Alan.
It is
and
a
also
shame.
it shows friends don't let friends do crazy week 13 events.
Are you allowed to drive a safety car? Turn off your force feedback. That's not needed in a safety car.
No.
Automatic gearing, I'll allow it.
Now we'll let Alan can become our driving standards instructor. The steward. All right, back to the race at hand. So Nicolas Roger-Vu is in P1. Still from Tom Lennox Brown. Only 2/10 in it though, so he's definitely not walking away like someone that stole someone's candy from a baby. Armando Vasquez Jr. I don't know where that line was going. Armando Vasquez Jr. in P3, behind Tom Lennox Brown in P2. Solano in P4, Helmut in P5, Honegger and Daniel Nesterovic in P7, who we're currently looking at on screen as Nesterovic goes to P2.
So he has been getting his practice in this week. We did have a Sector 3 purple that has now just been taken by... So I think I'm actually getting wrong readings from race control. I don't think Trevor Evans has actually got the purple. He's in the pits currently.
For yours. Also welcome everyone that's watching the league race live on Twitch.
Also available on YouTube tomorrow.
On YouTube.
Oh yeah, that too, yeah. If you're unable to stay, it will be on YouTube, uploaded around about tomorrow, 5 p.m. UK. It'll go live, I think.
So just confirm we have pressed record, yeah?
I have actually.
Look at us doing things right. For once.
It's Marco Honegger, purple sector 2. Where is he on track? He's just gone. So he's just gone through. Did not set a faster lap despite the purple sector. Kenny Lassen just unable to find pace at the moment. He's currently found himself down in P15. Vasquez Jr. He's looking good. Sector 2 and 3 really good. Brakes nice and deep, trying to get out with as much power as possible, pushing the limits of the track. Nice up on the curbs, and let's see what he can do as he comes across the line. He goes quicker, but not enough for a position just yet.
The sole flag waiver for Team Woody is Armando Vasquez Jr.
It's a shame there's no Alan this time, as Rochevu, he has gone purple in sector 1 but had slower times in other sectors. Let's see what he can do as he comes across the line. Looks like that car was really gliding around the corner nicely.
He's just throwing that thing into the corner, almost four-wheel drifting it.
Doesn't go faster though. Mr. Anderson, what's he going to do? Is he going to be able to move up the position? Just he gets up one of them. Now just ahead of Rig Trupp in P17.
So we're down to, so the spread of our field starts from a 30.1 with Nikolai down to a 32.9 for Hugh Morris. I was going to say no, a 32.6 as Hugh Morris goes fastest ahead of Henrik Anderson. The point that I was going to make though is even the, in air quotes, slow guys in this league aren't that slow. I think the VRS reference time is a 31.2. And so our slowest time at the moment, which unfortunately for his Jordan Ringtrop is a 1:32.6. So we're right, half this field is either at or under the VRS reference time for the F3 fix. Now, yes, the track is a bit cooler, and there's some other things going on, but there's definitely, from a relative point of view, even the midfield guys are actually getting pretty damn quick in this league.
Yeah, it's nice to see like the improvement you do find across the board. We do have at the moment 21 cars in, so continuing that record of 20 plus split in the race weekend. So that's good to see, especially since we've got quite a few people in the league. It's nice to see it grow as we've refined the product over the last previous 4 seasons.
And we'll continue to refine it as we sort of move forward. So Henrik Anderson just did a PB, moved it up to P12. So that's sort of moved him out from the drop. So here's a question for you, John. Would this sort of league, the F1 quality format, right? The drop the 10, or drop 3, drop 5, drop the bottom 5, drop another 5, and have the 10 go again. Do you think that'd work? I think it'd just be too long and drawn out for this sort of broadcast.
You'd also need a dedicated race director that stops when it says all cars go, and then these cars can't go, and then these last few cars can't go, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not thinking it from a racing point of view. I'm thinking more just from a watching point of view. I think it would just be too long, this sort of format. Speaking of long, there's not long in this session. We've got 45 seconds left to run.
Vasquez goes quicker, just moves ahead of Lennox Brown, and decides to give his mechanics a headache. Nestorovic, he's looking quick as he comes across the line. Doesn't count. He had an off track on lap 9, so that's unfortunate for him. Rochevu, let's see what he's going to do coming across the line. Car number 49.
Just trying to see who's going to get time on the board.
I don't think anyone else is really going to get time on the board. What we got? 10 seconds to go. Actually, everyone's coming in the pits. P15, maybe Colin Byrne. Can he find a way to get pole? No, he's not allowed to cross the line.
I have our starting grid coming into Heat 1. So Nikolai Rochevu is on pole with a 130 flat pretty much from Daniel Nestorovic in P2. Mando Vasquez Jr. in P3. Go on leader or go on green? Good question. So the question can...
Lennox Brown P4, Solano P5, Helmut P6, Honegger P7, Lester Craig P8, Tolman P9, Lassen P10, Russell P11, P12 is Anderson, and then we got Bailey 13, Evans 14, Byrne in 15, Scriber in 16, and Farrington 17, Morris 18, Rigtrup 19, Linda now 20, and Ian Bird at the back. P21.
Sorry about that. I had a question from the racers about how the restart's going to work because I suppose one thing for the viewers to note is there's unfortunately an error in the setup of this session. So instead of our regular standing death start, this will be a rolling start for both heats. and as we see the ritual fuel burn down happening by the people on the grid.
They have to do an extra slow lap this time. So
yes, they do. This will be painful. So we've got plenty of time to pad. Multiple errors caused by Henrik Steamroller, no less. Why? Hashtag blame Henrik. So this will be a rolling start instead of a normal start. And we've had a bit of a refinement over our safety car procedure over the last few seasons, few races, I should say, where it is a bit tighter. So hopefully now things will be good. I'm not sure if it's going to be a side-by-side or a single. I'm guessing it's going to be single file.
As we head off to the parade lap, but they won't stop in the box just to avoid any controversy of overstepping the mark. We have allowed them to roll after the formation lap.
Just trying to see, it's not telling me car, fuel, unlimited tire sets, weather, race details.
It should be double file on a normal rolling start.
Pace car speed 80. Yep.
Auto steward is on. Ian Bird is not taking part, so we have 20 races.
Oh, do you reckon? Okay, I'm going to place a bet, and I'm going to. If I say this as commentator, is it going to not happen? I have a funny feeling this safety car will be back out shortly. That's all I'm going to say.
So, what did you tell him on the restart? Wait to the line, or?
I said follow safety car regs, which means safety car leader has control, no passing until the green.
All right.
So basically, to translate, the safety car will do an illegal entry into pit lane. Then at that point, the leader has control to go as fast as they want, but the racers can't actually pass until the light goes green, crossing the start-finish line. So
our weather is currently at 22 degrees, so it's nice and cool actually. For our races. Track temp is 27 degrees, not the air temp. So 27 degrees, still within league regulations of below 30, which is good for the drivers. It really helps keep that the talent or speed gap much closer, so you don't have to learn how to do a really, really hot track. Unless you've been doing officials all week, then I think it is a hot track.
So then it should be a nice change to get some grip. One of the things that we have done in the league rules, though, John, is we have a little thing which basically says we have the management/broadcasting reserves the right to have whatever weather we want. So it's going to be less than that degrees, but it can rain.
Hopefully, it can rain for next season.
Oh, we'll see what happens. Signs are pointing like we're going to get sooner rather than later. So grid's lining up 2 by 2, ready for this rolling start. There's definitely no gap being left between the pace car and the leader, so he's definitely right up there. You'd almost say he's done this in real life. Hey Flamingo, joining us in chat. They're lining up 2 by 2. Safety car does its illegal entry. John, over to you. Call this one.
So it's been a while since I've had to call a rolling start, to be fair, as they come round to the final corner, Lorenzo, and they're going to go on green, I believe, as everyone is now through the final corner. And looks like Rochevaux is gone. So it's all down into turn 1. Let's see what happens. Is there going to be crashes and tears? I do not know. Hopefully not, because we want some good solid racing. Looks like everyone at the moment is nice and safe. Oh, I had to say it.
You had to do it, didn't you?
Trevor Evans got a small tag at the back. I don't know exactly what happened, but mostly the race is running smooth. That rolling start has avoided any pile-ups like last week, thankfully. As Roger
going wide. I can't tell. Everyone's gone wide. I was just looking to see if it was Rene or Marco in the Team Swede car. I can't really tell. As Roger is already out to a handy 1.2 second lead with Gaggle behind him. I'm not sure. I thought Trevor might have actually just locked the rears himself, but it may have been a tap. Not quite sure. But there's plenty of action going on at the front of the field.
As we now switch to interval now, half the lap is gone. Otherwise it just gets all a bit confusing. That 1.5 second, 6 second gap now to Vasquez. Lester Craig, what's happened to him? He's had a wall incident. Let's have a quick rewind as we go through. Is he just trying to avoid the purple car there? Possibly just oversteer on exit. Small bit of oversteer on exit. Car 18 has crashed. That's Vinicius Scriber. He's bumped a wing. There's another car off the track as well. That's Farrington. So he's had to jump to the pits. Probably happy he doesn't have to ask race control to jump to the pits in this league.
And that's just what he did. He just asked me, can I tow or not? The league that we normally race on a Thursday, you are not allowed to tow. So Simon was just asking for clarification on that.
Let's jump to new improved nose cam so you can actually see people in front rather than looking at the floor. As we jump on board with Chris Linden out on the back of Jurgen Rittrup. Can he find a way past as they go through that long right-hander of Sitopon, sorry. I read an extra verb in there.
I just got to say, how good is that new nose cam looking? Instead of looking down at the road, we can actually look out the front of the car.
As Vasquez goes side to side with Nestorovic, is he going to give him any room? Is it going to be fair? Looks like Nestorovic just gets caught behind now, and the move is done, and now he's under pressure from Mr. Lennox Brown, another great competitor in this league. But Rogivu, a 2.7 second gap already. He is completely bossing this field, which is nice and tight in the middle. From P2 down to P8 is pretty close.
So Nikolai might be bossing the field, but with the reverse grid, this is going to have some tasty action, I think, in the first few laps of the feature race. So it looks like look at that gap. It's already out to 3 seconds now over Vasquez Jr. But look at this pack, though. If we just ignore the leader who's walking away from it, we've got this great pack for the rest of the steps on the podium.
As we jump to Eagle Cam. And now go for count as they head through that long sweeping inside field. Gonna come down to Sito Pons again. We jump back to the F1 97 cameras as René Helmut is still trying to find a way past Victor Solano, who is very quick. He's not been here for a few weeks, but he is very quick. As is that car number 4, Nestorovic is looking to get revenge on Armando Vasquez going round the outside through. That's Pedrosa.
Side by side as I keep going round.
Great action going on for this battle of the podium between 3 cars. They both go very, very wide, and Tom Lennox Brown looks for an opportunity. But look at this. Great driving by both Nestorovic and Vasquez, who've been very, very good in qualifying.
So these cars on this track is a really good combo. There's lots of grip, lots of camber. So you are actually able to send it as we go onto the nose of Armando Vasquez Jr. as he darts to the right, trying to go around the outside. That's the long way around. You're not going to do it there, but is he going to set up for an exit onto the start-finish straight? Tom Lennox Brown is also getting a sniff of this as we go into turn 1. Is this going to end in tears? We hope not. As they come around, they all survived.
Well, look at this.
This is letting
Solano's in the pit pack now, and with René and Honegger just behind. What is going to be going on all around? Victor Solano is going to be looking in his mirrors a lot. Lennox Brown has lost the position as well to Solano. So lots of great racing at the front of the field as we're in lap 4 of the first race. As I left the time on, let's bring out hide the session time. As Rogivu is absolutely pulling a gap at the front. But we stay where the action is in this league. I'm sorry, Rogivu.
He'll just be like the classic F1 races. You'll just see him finish the last lap. But this battle is just absolutely intense for the podium. I was going to say we should go back and look at some of those crashes on at the start of the race, but this is just way too good to follow. As he goes up the inside, they go side by side, plenty of room on the exit of the track, and that gives René Helmut a sniff up the inside of Solano.
It's a
Michael
battle.
Honegger.
I was going to say the battle for second is not separated by that much. I think it's slightly opening up now. Honegger, what's happened to him? As he's falling down a little bit. He looks like he just loses out just a smidge, but let's go back to Lennox Brown. As it looks like Victor Solano just trying to stay ahead of Rene Helmut, as he's kind of losing the back of Lennox Brown now. Nestorovic P2, Vasquez P3.
Yeah, so they've been able to open up a little gap over the back of the field, so these two are starting to walk away a little bit, but definitely not walking away as much as our leader. We definitely want to go to a fixed scheme on the start-finish straight, John, just as they come on, or it's already go off. So we've just got Nikolai Rojevu is already at the end of the start-finish straight, while the rest of this gaggle is just coming down to turn one. So he's just literally, there he is. You just see a glimpse of him just driving off out in front. But this is an amazing sort of battle. So Jerez definitely putting on the show here.
Yeah, get rid of Monaco. Let's add this to the racing calendar in F1. That's where the real racing takes place. As Vasquez is still trying to find a way. He's only half a second behind Nestorovic. Just maybe cleans up a line here or there, and he might just find a way to get closer to him as we jump on board of grid cam, which is not the best angle for the whole pit straight, but you will see Rojevu's about to come across the camera's lens.
So there's our leader, and here comes the gaggle. That's the shot I was thinking of, that one there.
Unfortunately, that's not fixed, as we have that's Kenny Lassen in the Swede sandwich.
See, that should be the fixed camera, the one at the end of the straight. Much better shot, you can see the whole start finish straight. As we watch Rene Helmut coming around in P5, so Rene having a much better race this time out compared to his last couple of outings, where he was testing the damage limits of the F3, particularly at Mosport. Come down a bit further down the field, we've got
this is Lester Craig trying to battle back up against Rigtrup. He's very, very close, only 2/10 as they go through Ceto Ponds.
Bit of radio chatter going on.
Lester Craig goes wide.
So he had a bit of a chatter from, I think it was Marco, reminding some of his fellow competitors that you're allowed one move on the straight. So that's another one of the cute cool things about this league, is that you're only allowed one defensive move. There's no weaving allowed. So Kenny needs to know how much time does he need to get one -1 incident. John, so we want to quickly run through how the auto stewarding works.
Shooting works with, we don't use iRacing because we understand there can be a little bit of closeness, possibly with added netcode at the beginning, so you can easily get some 4Xs when you probably don't necessarily deserve it, and also getting a 4X at the beginning doesn't mean it's harsh to really like punish it too much if it just light 4X taps as well. So every 3 minutes they will be redeemed 1X. At 5X you'll be given a warning, a in-game message saying warning. At 10X they will then get a drive-through, and then 15X is a stop-go. There is no disqualifications, however, and you only get the drive-through and the stop-go once. But if you're doing it more than that, then you probably get a different problem. As Marco goes down the inside, trying to make a move on Kenny Lassen. Did they make contact? Marco and Honegger's got a black flag. Lassen got a 4X as well, so them coming together.
Lassen hit the wall. So the contact didn't look that bad or heavy. It looked semi-reasonable.
Kenny Lassen's crashed.
On the steward. But Kenny he pulled straight. So this was the result of that incident. So if you look, they come in. So Marco. Yeah, so Marco makes a move. There is contact, which seems fairly light. However, the F3s now have their bolts removed, and bang, So I don't know if that actually looked like a hardware failure from from his steering.
It was a bit weird. Marco will have to serve a black flag within 2 laps, or 3 laps actually.
In the rig.
Solano still trying to chase down Lennox Brown. Vasquez is kind of dropping back a smidge from Nestorovic. also allowing Lennox Brown to get close. Rennie Helmut is on the back of Victor Solano. Let's jump to nose cam now. It's nice and quiet as well as we head down to nose cam.
Hang on, so you're basically saying that one of the competitors is now over the X limit and will have to serve a drive-through penalty as
that's Marco.
Given to them by RS control.
Yeah, Marco
as a result of
has
that.
a penalty, black flag penalty.
I'm thinking a rules update is going to happen before stewarding this week. So what I'm thinking is if there is contact like that and so this is my question, should Marco be double penalised? So yes, I'm assuming, again, talk as a commentator, not as a steward, if Marco was to get a drive-through penalty, if he was going to get a post-race penalty for that contact, but he's now been given a drive-through penalty, does he get both? So if contact causes you to go over the X limit,
he's now serving his penalty,
and you are found guilty in court, do you get judged? Do you have to get penalised twice? I don't think so. I don't think you should get penalised twice. But we'll have a chat about that.
There's Lennox Brown. He's getting very close now to the back of Vasquez. Rennie Helmut still getting very close to to Solano. Marco Honegger's now had to drop down a few positions down to 14 because of that drive-through.
Yep.
There is someone else close to the drive-through limit that we obviously can't mention for competitive reasons, who's 1x away.
So speaking of being away, our leader, Nikolai Rogevu, is now almost 6 seconds out in front. So if you wanted a masterclass on how to drive the F3, this is it.
Should go follow him on Twitch.
Go follow him on Twitch. I told you we should have made the competitors give us their data compulsory.
We could have shared it with everyone. Victor Solano, he's off track. He's got black flag.
And that's the front of a sweet car sitting there on the ground. So I'm guessing that is going to be the front of Mr. Rene Helmut.
So Victor's gone off. That's just unfortunate. That's not Rene's fault. You can't really ask Rene to do much about that. It's not really Solano's fault either because his car spun back onto the track. But it is a black flag for Solano. He will have to serve a penalty too.
Yeah. So 2 laps left to run. Has
what?
How many is he on? Can you go to Rene camera, please? Can you? You'll need to tell him. I don't know the number.
There's no pit in this race. It is... Where are you, Bruce?
So you have to...
I'll send you it now.
Okay, cool. Got it. Just stay there for a second. Can you get back to Rene?
Yeah.
Sorry, this is a iRacing thing where... bugger, sorry. But you just send it to him. I'm just got to kill the overlays because I can't see it. Excuse me, viewers.
Do you need me to stay on Rene until you're done?
Yeah, but I can't actually pay him because the overlay is on top of where I need to go. I need to start Rene, and I just need to do this, and I need to go to... Hang on, yeah, I've got the number. Done. You can maybe now change.
Matt Tolman is now trying to get on the back of Rene Helmut, trying to move up in his first ever race. Rene Helmut does not have his front wing, so that's difficult. Victor Solano has missed the pit entry in F1. That might have been even a worse penalty. Who knows with the FIA these days? Could have been shot to the moon before he was allowed to race again. As Tolman goes down the inside because Rene is really suffering without downforce. Victor Solano is only 1x. Well, he's closer to the penalty. Let's see what happens when he comes out of there. He needs to drive clean.
So Rene really in damage limitation mode at the moment, trying to get that car around for 1.5 more laps.
Boxroom Racing, he's currently on the front row for race 2 in P7, so Going to be interesting to see if he can hold on there as well. Bailey and Linda now going to be hashing it out at the end of the race.
So this is the race within a race, right? So Henrik Anderson, they're currently the pole sitter for race 2, and these two gentlemen behind know that. We've done it. Sorry, Henrik.
Don't blame me this time. This is not me.
That was totally on me. I was going to say that's the P8 or the P8 of joy or death. It's the position that everyone wants. You don't want to be P9, you want to be P8. And unfortunately, I've just put the kibosh on Henrik Anderson.
Rogevu is typing from chat while leading the race by 6.1 seconds.
So what's that?
Oh,
that's half a second every lap.
Linda now and Bailey both went off track, and Henrik is back up into P8.
Here we go. Let's have a look at this on a replay.
That's some overlap there.
Sends it up the inside, and that's going to be Stewart's going to have some work to do this week. Here's our race leader, Nikolai Rogevu, out in front.
So I'm just trying to have a look up the grid. Does Solano have a second penalty or not? No, he does not. So he's fine. René Helmut has been passed by Colin Burns, and Colin Burns really moving up the session now, coming down the back straight. René Helmut's really suffering from lack of downforce, and his race is close to being over. Tom Lennox Brown has jumped on the podium towards the end. Let's see how he got passed by Tom Lennox Brown. Sorry, looks like Vasquez got past and then he lost out again. He just goes past with superior speed, but is on the outside and cannot keep it.
Gets a wobble. So I don't know if you've had a look at the standings, but in our number 1 position at the moment
Henrik Anderson.
for 8-1, Marco Honegger has managed to put himself into the box seat for Heat 2. As we sort of...
Rogevu wins, Nestorovic P2 and Brown P3.
Yes, I agree. Flamingo, blame Canada. It's all Canada's fault. As we come up to bring Discord up to the front, and we look to bring our people out of the... No, I don't want to do that right now. Discord, stop trying to give me features of things that I want. So
P10 is coming across the line. Jörn Rigtrup, he has been followed closely by Evans. And he's closely followed by Russell. And then we've got Hugh Morris coming home in P13. Henrik Anderson. What happened to him? Does he still on track or not? Yes, he is. Come around the final corner now. Vinicius Scriber. He's going to bring up the rear in P15.
So we have our top 3, or at least 2 of the top 3 in our waiting room. So I'm going to bring in Mr. Tom Lennox Brown in P3. Hello, Tom. Another week after 3.
Evening.
How are you finding that?
This is a fantastic combo. I am loving this new track especially on the moto layout. Haven't tried the GP, but in officials, this thing is fantastic.
Okay, so hang on 1 second. I just need to do some race control things. John, I'll be back in 1 second.
Okay.
So you've been enjoying the combo. It looked really fun out on track. There looked like plenty of passing opportunities as well. But some good racing, especially at the front in the first few laps.
Yeah, that was it was really super fun. Close between myself, Daniel, Armando, and also Marco at the start as well. I don't know what happened. He seemed to have fallen back a little bit, but yeah, Nikolai was just gone, man. He's just rapid.
Do you have anything to compete with that, Tom?
No. Is the short answer to that. I think he finished like 8 seconds ahead in a sprint race, so I think it's going to be a fight for P2, possibly if it like Daniel's super quick, Armando's super consistent. Yeah, it was crazy race, really fun though.
All right, Tom, he's going to be behind you for the next one, or is he? I'm not sure. I can't remember. Reverse grids are fun. It's going to be interesting. We'll let you go, but good luck with the next one.
All right, cheers, guys.
Thanks, Tom. I'm going to bring in Mr. Nesterovich. Daniel.
Damn.
Hey, how was it going for you?
Hi, guys. Yeah, it was cool. It's cool. Got into a battle with Armando, and so yeah, I was happy to get ahead of that. It was some really nice close battles.
It looks like you're having a battle with half the field there at the start of that one, apart from Nikolai, who just decided to it's a practice session, I'll just walk away from everyone.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, Armando got the inside of T1, so I didn't want to, But yeah, it was really fun. Is it going to be a rolling start again? Because this was...
it will, unfortunately.
Damn.
Or fortunately, depending if you like it or not.
I don't know. I don't. But
it's not a choice.
It's going to be interesting.
It's a mistake.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be interesting with the other guys ahead. So,
yeah,
but
it will. All right, Daniel. Listen, we'll let you run. Good luck, and say hi to your stream at your Twitch people for me. See you, Daniel. Bye.
Bye.
All right, here we go. Nikolai, welcome to the commentary booth.
Hello.
So first things first, how are you liking this combo of F3 and Jerez?
I like it really much. Jerez is a fun track to drive, and the grip is good as well. So yeah, even more fun, you know.
So yeah, welcome to the Jack Knife Racing TV F3 League. Sorry about the wrong start, but it looked like you just used it to full advantage and just walked away with that one.
Yeah, actually the start was a bit earlier than I wanted to have it. I thought green would be around there, but green came really late. So yeah, I wanted to start later, but for me the main thing was to get everyone to the last corner safe before starting, and yeah, we still did that.
So you're going to be deep in the pack for this one. You'll be starting P8 with the reverse grid for the feature. There was I don't know if you saw in the mirror, but there was an intense battle behind you for the first.
Yeah, I was actually watching a bit, but you know, starting from P8 is never for sure that you will survive. So it's like in the middle of the field. So I first have to survive the start, and then we can see what else is coming.
To be honest, they're normally pretty good on the feature, as opposed to Heat 1 is where the action really generally happens, because everyone, if they die in the first one, they just go bit each in the second one. I think having a rolling start, these things should be a lot safer. But good luck and welcome, and we'll hopefully, we'd like to have you back, should your circumstances allow.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, Nikolai.
See you later.
See you, bye.
Or maybe.
Sorry, oops, cut him off. That's what you do to guests, right, don't you? I shall move him back to Renee's chat, because that's where they all seem to be hanging out.
Yeah,
and I'm just going to go and do some race control stuff.
Oh. Well,
you brought me in the wrong place.
Why you took me back?
Yeah, Bruce is wrong. Bye-bye. Yeah, so Bruce dragged Nikolai Rajavu into the wrong channel, so I put him back. So there are drivers wanting a higher X limit in future seasons so that we can maybe do it, and I understand why people are a little bit unhappy with getting black flags when there's getting tapped into them. But it's something we can look into for sure if that's what people want. We are not against it. Sorry, start that again.
The request was, one of these messages I'm getting, I can't read them, I don't have my glasses on, from someone who doesn't use AutoSteward. So yeah, AutoSteward actually sends a DM to the racers to let them know that they are getting their X's back as they do clean driving, and if you're not used to it, you think, why am I being messaged all the time? Yep. All right, we're going to another full pace lap here for the reverse grid, which gives us a bit of opportunity to run through it. Do you want to do the John Honours Honour, or would you like me to?
Would you like to do the John Honours Honour? Is that what you just said?
No, I said, would you like to do the honours, John, or would you like me to do it?
So Mark Honegger on pole, Rennie Helmut P2, Colin Byrne P3, Mark Tolman P4, Vasquez Jr. P5, Lennox Brown P6, Nesterovich P7, Rajavu P8, Rigtrup is now P8, because everyone just started moving at the wrong time. Do we have an official grid? Here we go. So Lester Craig P9, Uric Truck P10, Evans P11, and then we've got Russell P12, Morris 13, Anderson 14, Scriber 15, Solano 16, Bailey 17, Linden out 18, Farrington 19, Lassen 20, and Ian Bird, who is not here, in P number 21.
It's interesting because we use the same software as the V8s. You can see my team, Shadow Racing, now being represented by Simon Farrington. As we get another full pace lap, there we are, in another expertly designed livery, sporting the racecraft Haggis Pinball, and there may or may not be an AWS logo on that car as well.
So Honegger hasn't started the race, he is in the pits, so that means René Helmut is officially on pole.
Why has Marco not started the race?
I think he may have missed the start, and now he's going to start from the pit lane.
No.
But he is at the front, so that is, as we found out in another league, being at the front in the pit box does give you a little bit of an advantage coming out the out the pit lane, and you won't be completely lost. Marco is engaging in extracurricular activities.
Yep.
But no, I think we found the road start wasn't too bad. It was nice. It was mostly clean apart from the possible spin on lap 1.
Yeah.
But René Helmut does regain pole. Oh, sorry, does inherit pole with Colin Byrne behind in P2. So Colin Byrne advanced up onto that front row. Not quite as action-packed as standing starts would be, but sometimes you got to roll with the flow.
So basically, I'm just listening to the grid. They're talking in their view. They think Marco was slept through the restart.
Marco is known for sleeping in.
Well, it is midnight where they are, so it sort of is to be fair. So this gives Colin Byrne control.
No, it doesn't.
No, René has control, does he?
Yep.
Yes, there we go. So we have a Team Swede car on the front row. So definitely a much better outing this time for René Helmut. I can't tell because they keep moving around and it keeps moving up and down on the ladder.
So as we come now down towards Lorenzo, the safety car comes in probably the most normal way on the surface.
This is true. Here we go.
So everyone will get about halfway up the pit lane before René will probably start accelerating. Everyone is on the start finish straight. René has gone, and the lights are now green for racing as Colin Byrne possibly gets overtaken by Tolman at the start. And Colin Byrne not having that, he's fighting back. Let's jump back to that. But Tolman has got a nice little gap ahead, goes a little bit wide. Vasquez behind is getting close to the rear end of the Boxroom racing car, as now we see the Rogevu has got in his tank for overtaking, goes flying around the outside. Can he avoid the grass? Yes, he can, coming through Seton Pond.
But he loses a position as a result. The new track polish feature. We've got Vinny Scriber going off the back. It's unfortunate for him. Goes straight through the virtual DRS sign. Hashtag where's the phone blowing everywhere. As we go back up the front, we're following Tom Lennox-Brown coming around, currently in P4. Let's get a little battle pack.
Let's get some static action as we come through now, going through the long left of Aspar into Angel Nieto. And now we're going to go to Peliquite.
So go 3 with Boxroom Racing going super defensive. Nikolai getting out sideways, going around the outside. So they're trying really hard to keep the Heat 1 winner boxed in, but he's just having none of it.
Box in the box. As Vasquez goes down the inside of Lennox Brown, and it's getting really close to the back of Tolman's car there. Nice purple livery going on. Lennox Brown just dropping back a little bit. Tolman will have the inside, but can Vasquez find a way around? Is he going to compromise himself against Lennox Brown? And yes, he does. So Lennox Brown getting a jump on Vasquez now, as we see some more battles behind Lester Craig, Boxroom Racing and Victor Solano, all close to being side by side as well. P18 has crashed. That's Hugh Morris. Solano's very, very close.
So just as we saw in the first one, the battle for the P2, P3 is allowing our leader, in this case Rene Helmet, to start to walk away at the front. So Rene, at the end of lap 4, Rene's opened out to almost a 2-second lead already over Tom Lennox Brown and Monsieur Tolman, as we see Simon Farrington taking a expedition up through the gravel trap. It's definitely not the fastest way around.
Hugh Morris does have quite a few X's at the beginning. It's not good to see, as Rochevu is fighting now side by side with Amanda Vasquez. Vasquez is not one for giving up the positions easy, but he may have just... No, he hasn't oversold himself on the outside. He manages to find a way to pull it through as you go through this long sweeping left-hander. I don't have the name of the corner because I've got the wrong track map up.
So what's interesting is one of the things that Rene sort of mentioned during one of our chats during long endurance races is that with a higher I rating, he's noticed that drivers will give him more respect and tend to not fight him and jump out of the way. But in this league, there is none of that. Just because Rochevu was the winner of Heat 1 doesn't mean he's going to get a free lunch pass. In this case, as we watch, he just tries to go around the outside again of Amanda Vasquez. Does he do it? No, Sorry, there's been a big pile-up between Boxroom potentially and Lester Craig. Boxroom moving to the outside. Solana goes in. He tags him. That's not good for him. And Boxroom's got the magnet activated just in time to stop that rear wing flying too far. So that was really unfortunate.
Lester Craig does have a meatball though. It's unfortunate for him, as Rochevu is still fighting with Vasquez and he finally gets a way through. And Rochevu will be chasing down Mr. Tolman next. Hugh Morris is showing us P1, but that's because he jumped to the pits, I believe, rather than anything else. So let's have a quick reload the overlay, see if it can fix that.
So we're currently following Rochevu, our winner from Heat 1, as he's at that gap from ahead of Amanda Vasquez already opens up, as he's now sitting behind Matt Tolman, or sitting behind what I actually meant was alongside and out in front. So he just sends it down the inside. Matt doesn't put up a fight. Just letting Nikolai move up into P4. That's a great static shot. Coming into turn 1 at the end of the start-finish straight, you can still see the compression going through as Tom Lennox Brown goes fastest with a 30.8, so he's definitely trying to put the hammer down while he has a bit of clear air in front. We go on board with Nesterovic behind Vasquez.
And so somehow Hugh Morris has jumped ahead on SDK by about 1.5 laps. So the standing is slightly wrong at the front. Rene Helmut is in pole. So I'm sure that'll correct itself in a couple of laps' time. As looks, what a great defense there by Tolman, holding off Vasquez, which has allowed Nesterovic to get a move going, where he's going to be compromised going through the left-hander of... that's not Lorenzo, it's unnamed, so we're going through Aspar now down to Angelo Nieto.
So Rene Helmet 1.4 seconds out in front of Tom Lennox Brown in P2. Hugh Morris is most definitely not in the lead.
He's not even on track anymore.
Nope.
Jerez, we've had some good racing here, to be fair. It's been nice, and especially when you got battles this close together between Tolman, Vasquez and Nesterovic, as now Hugh Morris falls down the order as people come across the line. P16's had an incident. That's Henrik Anderson, but he's carried on going. He's just possibly been a little bit too polite. He was on the inside. He was on the track. He was well entitled to get up to racing speed again.
Yep.
And Ken Russell's fighting with Evans as Marco Honegger tries to make his way up the field again.
I'm going to say that some of the differences you're seeing from a league as opposed to officials It's people generally know each other. They know they're going to see the same people week in, week out. So there's a lot of respect happens on track. As we're looking at Marco Honegger, who's recovering from that pit lane startup, already back up to P13. So he's got a lot of work to do ahead of him, but he has plenty of laps in which to do it. He puts it down the inside of Trevor Evans.
Yeah,
and now
holds
lines
that
up
inside
his,
beautifully.
So that was Russell, not Evans. It's Evans in front of him now, who is now lining up.
Yeah, but we jump back on board. Tolman just running a little bit wide through Peliqui. Heading down now along the long sweeping Alex Creville. Looks like Solano's got it done. Nestorovic has got it done. But can Nestorovic get it done on... Oh, they've come together! Absolute scenes going into that final corner. Nestorovic catching the back of... what's his name? Vasquez?
No, Vasquez.
I completely forgot his name for a second.
Now, I'm distracted by this wheel popping off. So the loses the wheel. The wheel pops back on. That's just ugly.
It is definitely ugly. Was there too much movement in the braking zone? I'm not sure. I'll go to the stewards, I'm sure.
So there's actually two incidents there. I don't know if you saw, but Daniel ran into the purple car, knocking off front wheel, which then popped back on again. So
it's fake news.
It's all very strange. So meanwhile,
Rogervu lines up Lennox Brown as they go through Aspar once again. Lennox Brown has nothing in his arsenal to try and hold it back. Is he going to be alongside enough into the next corner?
Nope.
No. Rogervu gives him plenty of room though. Says, have a go if you think you can outbrake me. But it was not a successful mission there from Lennox Brown, as Rennie Helmut is now the hunted up front. He's not that far ahead, only 1.5 seconds. As Lindenau is also looking to get past Rigtrup, coming along up towards Alex Creville.
So Marco Honegger is now 1 second back behind this battle that we're watching right now between Lindenau and Rigtrup. So it's good to see the Pizza Boy back in his car.
Rigtrup loses the rear.
Right in front of Marco Honegger,
who has survived mostly, I believe. I can't see too much damage on the front wing there of Honegger, so maybe gets a lucky break, but loses a few positions in the meantime. It's behind Russell and Evans once again, with teammate Bailey behind. So he's in this team's, or like the joint team venture of the orange and the blue versions, just a bit like AlphaTauri and Red Bull, as Russell goes wide into that corner there. This
is not dirt. This is not dirt road.
Martin Bailey, can he hold off Honegger as they go down towards the hairpin of Pedrosa? No, Marco can't find a way to get past. Is he going for the cutback? Marco knows how to drive.
Not quite yet.
Not good enough yet, but he'll definitely find new ways to get through, I'm sure. But he has to be very careful.
So meanwhile, up in front, René Helmut has managed to hold that. He's managing to hold that 1 second lead. In fact, he just went up over Rogervu in P2. I've got a funny feeling that it's only a matter of time. However, but great race for René. Nice change of luck compared to the last couple of weeks as we're watching
Marco Honegger early. He has a meatball for some reason. Maybe that Rigtrup incident got a meatball that we didn't see. As you just saw flash up on screen, Solano has a drive-through penalty again, and we're only on lap 8. So,
unfortunately, Marco's spending way too much time in the pits across these two races today. So that drive-through for the Heat 1, pit lane start, and now a meatball for this race. Luckily, he's got a fast repair and he will be able to fill it up full of fuel. However, he will need to go in again because he's not in the pit window.
No, he is not. And before you ask, it is between probably a lap 11 and lap 14. So maybe if he goes a bit longer, fills up the tank completely, you can maybe find a way to push it all the way to the end, but it's going to be very difficult to get back up the circuit and also do all that fuel saving. That's kind of go roll.
Yeah, he would.
Rick rolls out.
He would need a safety car or two, I think, to be able to make it to the end without another stop. And I think if we were going to see a safety car, we would have already seen it.
Farrington, he's up 7 places from starting, so it's going better for Farrington in race 2. Currently residing in P12. Vasquez is fighting now alongside Tolman. Give each other room, yes you do. Nesterovic has passed Solano as he's had to go to serve his drive through. This is a great battle by Nesterovic. Sorry, not Nesterovic. Vasquez and Tolman for now. Rochevu, though. Time to start the Jaws music.
Here we go. So this is the nose cam out the front of Rochevu's car. His gap is now down to 3/10. Look at that. Just the distance he makes up under brakes as Lene over-rotates a little bit. Right on the limit of the grip of these cars. Looking at the back of Renault's car, we can see Rochevu behind, using all the track, lots of runoff on this track, and it's not like Red Bull Ring where, you know, the space is there but you can't use it. You can definitely use it. I'm a massive fan of tracks that use, in air quotes, natural limits such as gravel and grass to be the limit. Rochevu looking trying to go for a wider entry as Renault keeps it really tight. This will give Rochevu a much better exit onto the start-finish straight. I don't know there's much that Renault's going to be able to do about it. In fact, there isn't, and he knows it. He's just taking it on the line as Rochevu goes down the inside. Take over the lead from Mr. Helmut.
It was a little bit too late on the speed cam. I'm just trying to find it on the list. We run about 25 cameras, so find them on the list when they're not one of the favourites can be quite difficult occasionally. Jumping on board now, Dynamic TV. Can Rene find a way to stay close as they go along this is the best place for Rene to stay close, possibly even force an overtake as we go down the back straight. Has Rene got enough room? No, Rene is sensible. He wants a good finish this week. He's been really unlucky with net codes and other incidents popping up. So it's nice to actually see Rene towards the top again. Lester Craig's had an off. Oh, we've also had a big crash between Solano and Faz, and possibly Honegger. Oh, so Lester just spins it out coming out the last one. So Solano is going to dive down the inside, is he? Oh, that's not good.
Beware what is it? The zone of death.
Yeah, the vortex of danger.
Of danger, that's what I was thinking of.
High voltage.
We're watching video scriber, unfortunately put into the wall. So looks like one of he's done that all by himself. So Farrington goes past, still recovering in P12. Yeah, the vortex of danger. So someone decided to enter the vortex, and that's what happens. So, question in chat from find out what happened to Marco. So Marco started from pit lane and was working through the field. Was unfortunately involved in a bit of a tangle and got a meatball and had to pit out of the pit win, which is going to put him out of contention, unfortunately.
That was after he forgot to get to the grid because he was busy medicating. Yeah, but
Is he doing his pit stop now, or has he just basically had enough and
pit stops are not currently being shown at the beginning, at the bottom. No one's in the pits right now. Honegger, I think, is just possibly quit. Marco he's not retired, but he's also not counted as being in the pits. I think it might be a repair and he's out the car.
So he's still got that meatball. So my gut feel is what did he use the fast repair? I don't know.
Yeah, he did
so
for it. I don't know if he used a fast repair or not. Maybe he just had enough.
Select it. Because according to race control, he still has that.
Why is one second. Nestorovic has failed to clear a furled flag and has got himself a black flag.
Oops. This is all I can say about that. There we go. I drove like a player because a 10-minute repair, 1 race, 2 meatballs. So there we go. There's the answer. So poor Marco, unfortunately, is sitting there waiting for the F3 mechanics to put his car back together, which is definitely going to put him out of contention, which is such a shame. He's been having such a good run lately. But we do have drop rounds, and this might be one of them.
Yeah, it's not over yet, Marco. You do have that drop round available. Just don't make any more big mistakes.
Or just make other people make worse. As we watch Nicolas Rochevu out in front, only 1.2 seconds lead over Rene Elmet. So Rene doing well to stay in touch.
He's got Lennox Brown about the same amount behind. So Lennox Brown was fast in practice and quali. A little bit faster than Rene overall. So let's see what he can do. As Rochevu does pull away at just over the halfway mark of this race.
So I wonder if there's a bit of fuel saving going on from Rochevu out in front.
Maybe, but he's not saving 13 laps worth.
No, I realise that. I know he'll
Tolman's coming for his pit stop. So this is a scheduled pit stop at 13. That's well within the middle of the window there.
So
he's missed the box out.
First to blink.
He hasn't turned his tyres off. So he definitely got to raise that.
Or maybe he chose to take them. So Tolman definitely taking some tyres as we begin the pit stop cycle. So Rochevu to a 1.5 second lead. A similar gap from Helmet back to Tom Lennox Brown in P3. Then a fair bit of daylight back to Mando Vasquez in P4. Slending out Evans. And great run from Anderson and Simon Farrington up to P8, making benefit of the people that are having some challenges in front of him. It's one of the hallmarks of the longer sort of races that Simon does during the week, where you just keep at it and just do lap after lap after lap, and generally the results come to you. Applying that same approach to this one.
So everyone has been very naughty this week, getting penalties. Car 6 is now a drive-through penalty, which is Lester Craig. Obviously we don't show the driver numbers because there's no way of formatting them in SDK. I don't think it all has weird... It's the local numbers of what they choose in iRacing, I believe.
So just hearing some radio chatter about some guys getting pit entry warnings, and what they will be is they're probably crossing a line.
So Farrington very slow. I think in the first entry was maybe the slower line.
I think it's based on the radio chatter where people are talking about getting pit lane penalties. And so what that will be is tiptoeing their way delicately around the paint.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's what that will be. You'd better lose 2 seconds going in than 40 seconds coming out because you've crossed the paint.
Armando Vasquez has got a felled black flag, so it must be that. Yeah, that must be what you're on about.
Yeah.
So Vasquez car 3 has a drive-through penalty as well. Chris Linder now just doing his own race, currently up into P2. René Helmut in the pit lane. Rochevu has obviously fallen back down after his stop. Down to P3, but he is obviously de facto P1 after Chris Linder will have to pit as well. Let's jump on board with him. Is Linder now going into pits? Yes, he is. He needs to be careful, as everyone else has had to be careful as well. Looks like a good tiptoe there by Chris. And There you go. Rajavu back in the lead, but Rennie Helmet's coming out. So it's going to be, obviously, it's a long straight here, so he's going to be hard to get up to speed and going to be on the outside line coming through the pit exit, which is, it's nice to see on the outside again. Scriber's having a good go at Colin Byrne for P12 as he go through. I think that's Aspar.
So I assume Rajavu has already done his pit stop a lap earlier, which I missed mentally, even if we caught it on the telecast. So which is why we're seeing him come out in front of Rennie Helmet in P2. So yeah, I think what's happening, a couple of things. One is sort of focusing on the radio chatter coming from the competitors around the pit lane penalties. So what we're seeing is a couple of things. One is probably some speeding, but as well as people just driving over the paint is always a gotcha. It got me at in a race when I did it at Fuji. And you will only do it once when you're in a race and you're sitting there for 40 seconds and you throw a good result away. You learn very quickly. Another track that's really known for it is Brands Hatch as well. It has a very similar pit entry, Brands Hatch.
Yeah.
But guess what? There's no reason not to practice it now that you have active reset.
Do we go to Brands Hatch this season? I think we do. So we got Magny Core next week and then Brands Hatch in a fortnight. So we do go Brands Hatch. So the competitors maybe need to be warned about the entry for Brands Hatch. Vinicius Scriber, he's still
Course is going to be a cracker. It's going to be a cracker. I think that's the track. It feels like it has quite a low grip level, but it's going to be a really interesting track.
It was good last season.
So it'll be a good one to watch. Can we add Fuji? Fuji no chicanes to the list. Just while we're on these new tracks.
Got Hungaroring, Donington National, so that's without the hairpin. And then Imola, Twin Ring Motegi, and Rudskogen to finish.
I was going to say, apart from Rudskogen, iRacing has added some great tracks over the last couple of seasons, notably Jerez, Fuji, and Magnicor have all been great additions to the service. So more of that, please.
Boxroom Racing currently holding on to the final points scoring position. Alan Kwan saying only 8 drivers at Magnicor last season, so hopefully it will be nice and spicy. Lester Craig comes in to serve his penalty, I believe. No, sorry, he's cleared it, so this is an actual pit stop from Lester Craig. Which is going to drop him back down the field a little bit, possibly only to P16, which he's currently in now. Martin Bailey makes a move on his teammate. Let's have a quick look at... Oh, actually it looks a little bit more spicy than that. Goes through, just under braking. He just loses it slightly. Victor Solano has had an issue with Trevor Evans. Or next, almost at the same time as Trevor Evans, sorry.
So
Trevor Evans is stuck. 1 second.
So that's really bad luck. No one wants to see that happen. So all I'll say, Alan, about Magnicor is that last week I had to drive the safety car on that point at Magnicor, so I'll let you be the judge of that and what we're going to see next week.
Vinicius still trying to close that gap on Colin Byrne, but it's not happening at the moment. Still 7/10 as they go through Lorenzo now. But long straight, can Solano find a way to close the gap? I don't think it's going to happen this time. Colin Byrne just getting a little bit out of the draft, trying to break the toe a smidge. Not too hard though, as Victor Solano goes very, very deep, catching a lot of understeer on entry and a bit of oversteer on exit.
Yeah, you can definitely hear the car moving around as he's chasing down Colin Byrne, being P8 ahead.
Farrington in P11 at the moment. Nesterovic 3.9 seconds ahead of him.
So it'll be interesting to see, is Simon thinking about ahead, or is he being closed down by the cars behind?
We go Russell and Lindenau behind, so Lindenau definitely does have top 5 pace when he turns up sometimes, Lindenau. we have seen some good races from Lindenau over the seasons.
I got to say, this is a really good outing from Simon, someone who spends most of his time, like I do, inside a big V8 monster, which drives completely differently to this car. He did spend some time yesterday putting some practice laps in and was concerned about the gap between himself and the fast boys. And in front, when he looked at the last lap time, speaking of the fast boys, Reservoir still leading. The gap out to 3.3 now over over Rene Helmut with Tom Lennox Brown in P3.
4.3 seconds, so he lost a lot of time somewhere, did Lennox Brown. I'm not sure where. Haven't seen anything really come up, spins or anything like that, so Lennox Brown has fallen back. Tolman, he is then 20 seconds behind this top, but still doing well in his first league outing. Nestorovic is closing down the back of Vinicius Scriber, so let's see what he can do. Nestorovic desperately wants to avoid another penalty point this week, otherwise he will be getting the pit lane start the next race he takes part in.
Can you give Mr. Helmut his incident count, please?
I can tell you. It's one less than I told you last time.
Yeah, but you have to. I can't give it to him unless this is. You have to go on to him. We'll have to. I don't care. Go back to the Farrington battle. I want to watch that. I'll tell him in a second, actually. And can I do? Because the thing is, it's a definite dance I have to do. It's just for those at home. The actual overlay for the race that you're watching is in front of my PM control, so I have to shut down the overlay just so I can tell, and then John has to select that.
You can do it in race control. Just click his name, find an X.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It just worked for me.
It doesn't work for me. That's because you're in master mode.
I am the master.
It didn't work when I tried. You're the master. Okay, we go back to this battle. Enough of us talking about race admin stuff. Farrington ahead of Russell and Linda now. So we go on board with Russell, who's managed to close up the back of Farrington. So he's going to get a good tow. But I'll tell you right now, Simon is used to having cars ahead and behind lap after lap. So having those cars behind will not faze him at all as we watch Russell and Linda now fighting behind. Chris taking that position from Russell. Get a feeling they might swap back again shortly. Sort of let Farrington open up to a 1 second lead again as these two battle it out behind.
And Nestorovic side by side, almost coming together with Colin Byrne as they went through coming out of the hairpin of Pedrosa. Colin Byrne is not giving us up though, around the fast left-hander of Aspar down to Angel Nieto. And it looks like
streamer on streamer.
It looks like Daniel's going to get the best of it right now. We'll jump back on board of Farrington.
Box was having none of it and sent it down the inside.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, Box got the job done. He was like, "Thank you. I will have that position back, Mr. Nestorovic." This battle continues. Unfortunately, we know how this normally ends up, and it ends up like that with a car facing the wrong way. That's really unfortunate, and neither driver would want to see that as we go back and watch a replay. So we're watching. So Daniel throws it from a long way back. Well, we know what that means.
There might be trouble ahead.
I foresee a future. Meanwhile, this battle continues. Again, Farrington eyes front, but Lindenau's got past him, so something's gone on.
And as if by magic, what happened to Farrington? Has he just maybe locked up, or he's trying to avoid the incident?
So this was the aftermath of that replay. While we were watching that replay, if we'd held on for a little bit longer, which we actually can't do because technology, Chris Lindenau made out and stole that position from Farrington by going for the inside. And now we can have a look at another battle up the fields. This is Vasquez on Henrik Andersen, the Swedish model, also known as the other Henrik on Twitch when he's streaming. And
looks like he just gets past Vinicius. Scribe has gone for swim in the grass.
Let's have a look at this on the replay.
He was kind of oversteering on exit earlier and understeering on entry. It looks once again roughly the same. Understeers initially and catches a bit of an oversteer on the exit. Nestorovic has a black flag.
Well, that's unfortunate.
So he might avoid a double penalty.
He's not the only one, from what I can see.
Byrne has as well.
Yep. Hitting that X limit. So you can see the drive-through penalties coming up through for both car 4 and car 16. So Nestorovic and Colin Byrne both receiving drive-through penalties as a result of that contact, and then picking up some X's later.
We have to have a look at the system, I think, this week. Colin Byrne has had a nightmare coming out the pit lane. What's happened to Colin? As he's maybe tried to get up to speed and just lost the rear. He's caught the barrier, gone over the line. He has gone over the line. He's jumped to pits, I think. He's had enough.
Yep.
So
that's bad luck, unfortunate for Collins. I think what he's done is he's gone to the paint line and got a penalty as he's exited pit lane and said, nope.
Why has Nestorovic still got a black flag?
Why has Colin Byrne still got a black flag?
Well, he's crossed the line, so... So Nestorovic does... Oh, did he stop in his booth? I think it's a stop-go, is it not? Yeah, I think it's a stop-go, so... For 10x, anyway.
I think we'll clear it for him. Because... I'm going to clear his penalty.
We've done it.
Oh, you've done it already. Look at that. Oh, I've just worked out how to...
As we head on, we're on the penultimate lap now. René Helmut is not close anymore to Roger Vu, who's currently on the... going through Cedar Ponds as he's heading down the back straight now with P18 behind him on track. Vasquez is currently P6. Martin Bailey getting some good points. Also Tolman getting some good points in his first outing. Henrik Anderson in P7, so he's getting some good moves there. And Farrington back up into the points, getting chased down by Russell, which we've got on screen now.
Yep. This and one more to go.
I don't know if Colin will be coming back out, but based on his toe, we are going to clear his black flag as well.
Yeah.
Farrington, now he has to keep Russell behind for that extra 2 points for P9, which will be a good outing on his first race. I know he was a bit unlucky in race 1, but hopefully lots more to come. Plenty of oversteer in both the V8s and the F3, so I'm sure he'll get used to it eventually.
I think the really big difference is the grip level. So the V8 basically has none. This has all of it. So yeah, it's the V8 definitely is a big, heavy car. So you really have to get your speed lined up before you sort of commit to the corner. And if you're going too fast, you can't just go, oops, right, drop it off. So basically, it's about understanding your speed and sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Just carrying that speed through the corner, as opposed to in, stop and shoot.
So Roger Vu now coming through the hairpin for the Pedrosa hairpin for the final time as he's heading now through the final infield section of Jerez. Let's jump bar. Let's see him across the line.
So yet another dominating performance from Nikolai Roger. So I think this is really just shows you just when you think you're, right at the top of your game, as some of the boys in the F3 League are. They're definitely right up there, but then someone else comes along and just lifts the level yet again. Just shows you how much more there is to be found. As
There he comes through the final corner.
crosses the line,
Rene
and it's all
Helmut
over.
will be next as well.
Colin Burney's back on track after that. Tono is not.
No, he's not. He's in the
I can
pits.
see him in pit lane. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You changed camera just as the car went over my head, so I thought that was Colin driving over my head. Rene Helmut finishes at P2. Tom Lakes Brown comes across the line in P3.
Tolman, he is looking good for this P4. Just one corner to go, and that's going to be a good result there for Tolman. Bailey will be next. In second.
I'm there.
There we go.
Or maybe, no. Just wondering whether we're going to see a last lap race to the finish.
Not quite.
And we didn't. Farrington crosses Anderson.
Farrington is going to hold up because looks like Ken Russell went off track and lost P10. So that's an absolute nightmare for Ken Russell. Let's have a quick look at exactly what happened. So he's going through. Does he just catch a bit of oversteer on exit? Maybe some grass. So he goes on the gravel just a smidge. It's unfortunate for him. As we continue to see drivers come across the line, we're just waiting for Scriber and Russell now. And here they are, the final two finishes before Bruce can bring in the booth.
Here we go. All right, so let's just jump into our commentary, and we're going to bring in Mr. Tom Lennox Brown. Hello again, Tom. P3 in the feature. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was good. I was pushing like a madman through that whole race pretty much. Yeah, Rene was ultra consistent, and Nikolai was just too quick for me. So I think P3 was a good result. I'm not disappointed.
So what's your thought process now, seeing someone like Nikolai come in and just show how much more headroom there is on the performance on the car? Because if you'd asked me a week ago, I would have thought we were getting close to the top, but Nikolai just shows there is still a lot more time to be found.
All I can do is look at his laps, try to see where he's breaking that tiny bit later, where he's putting the power on that tiny bit earlier, carrying 2 kilometers an hour more per corner, just trying to really trust the car. And really finesse those inputs to try and make that time up. That's all I can really do.
Because what's interesting is for someone like myself, like the average pleb out there, like I'm normally 1, 2, maybe 3 seconds off the VRS pace. You're all running well below, because the VRS reference lap for this week was like a 1:31.2 or something. And yes, the conditions are different, but you just look at the fastest laps for yourself, Nikolai and Rene, you're all well below that. And Simon's doing the typical V8 finishing result, doing burnouts on pit lane, which is distracting me. So you're all well below that benchmark, if you like, of that standard time. So you boys aren't slow.
No, but then I think I'm okay. I'm pretty decent at F3, and then you've got someone like Nikolai who's double the IR. Mega pace, so it's just a lot, just a learning process. I think just learn every time.
Cool. Right, Tom, look forward to seeing you next week. P3 is still a great result for this one, so another bag of points for you to take forward in the championship. So we'll look forward to seeing you on track next weekend at Magna-Core.
Cool, thanks guys.
Thanks, Tom. See you again. Move him away, and we'll bring in P2. What did I do with Rene? What did I do with him? I don't know what happened there, Rene. Welcome to the commentary booth.
Yeah, if you don't want to talk to me, it's okay.
I don't know what happened then. I think you just flicked you back to your own hometown. Congrats on that podium. Did you have anything to throw at that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty proud on the performance. Best of the rest, I guess. So no one's winning against Nikolai. So I'm really happy with that race.
Yeah, and your teammate Marco definitely he picked up the bad luck bag that you've been carrying for the last couple of races, and he was carrying it for this one.
Yeah, he was in both races. He's really unlucky. A little bit unfortunate because we were P1 and 2 for the second race at the start. So
Yep.
yeah,
So it'll be interesting going forward. I think, there's no doubt that you're all putting the work in, and there's, even though Nikolai was a standout in this particular race, you're all very, very fast at the front. So it's looking like it's going to be a cracker for the rest of the season. So hopefully you'll be able to keep the car in one piece and keep it at the pointy end.
yeah, I hope so too. We all felt pretty fast, but now Nikolai is here, so we all feel really slow.
Yeah. It's all relative, but to look at it this way, you can definitely see how much more performance potential there is still yet to find.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks, Renee. See you next week at Magna Court.
See you.
See you, bye. And let's bring in our race winner. Hello, Nikolai. Welcome back. I think I accidentally cut you off at the end of the last interview. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, all fine.
So it's interesting. So how did you find the reverse grid?
It was fun. It was a bit sad that Marco didn't join. I don't know what happened, but yeah.
I think he was asleep on the couch. That's the
really?
running joke. That's the running joke that we have now. I'm not sure what happened. I think he just missed it. He also was really unlucky with not one but two meatballs in that last race. So
okay, yeah,
that
that's unlucky.
unfortunately put him to the back because Marco's definitely been the standout so far this season and been working towards it. One thing which we've sort of noticed is I think you've basically shown the boys how much more performance potential there is to find in the F3. Any sort of tips you want to share at this point about, and where you think you're finding the time over the rest of the guys?
Like small tips I can give is just find the correct brake balance. For me, that was really important to get the pace, just to have the right brake balance. And I'm running lower than everyone. I think it's just the braking style I have, but yeah, that's the time.
So you when you say lower, you're tending to run more rear and ride the rear going in. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like I'm running around 52.8. At some tracks, I even go under 52. So I'm running really low. But I know from other people, other quick guys, that they can't run this.
Yep.
So I can understand as well if people say.
So you've done a fair bit of racing in real life. Have you got a history in karting, perhaps?
Race cars as well. Formula 3 as well, 3 races.
Yeah, but what I'm just wondering is, because one thing I know is, particularly from reason why, is because I'm trying to work on this technique myself, and what I've done is I've gone back to a kart simulator to really focus on my braking. And because it's that technique of riding the rear to get the rotation going in. So I'm just curious if that was in your background. Is that something you're leveraging? But of course, real world experience always sort of helps. How do you find sim versus real world? Is it just completely different, or is it somewhere close?
I would say like the driving style of the cars in the sim is similar to real life, or even identical. The only thing is in iRacing that isn't that good is the ABS in my eyes. That's why I focus on Formula cars here. And but I have a lot of fun of it. And you're just missing some stuff like the data you get kind of your ass while you drive in real life. I don't know how you call it in English.
Yeah, it's pretty close. The feeling through the butt.
Yeah, exactly. In German they say popometer to this, like it's buttometer or whatever.
Yeah.
And that feeling is just missing in the sim, but otherwise I would say it's more or less the same.
Yeah, it's funny. So I've had instances where I've had sim drivers that have never driven in real life giving tips to people how to drive Bathurst better in real life, and they've actually taken the tips to the track, and it's worked out. Nicola, it's a pleasure having you. We'd definitely be, if your schedule permits, we'd definitely be happy to have you back.
Yeah, sure. It was fun to be here, and thank you for letting me join.
No problem. And did you want to give your Twitch a bit of a shout out while you're here and you've got the floor?
Sure. Like, should I post it in there, or?
No, you can say it out loud. You can just people won't see it on the broadcast. You can just say where it is.
Okay, so Nikolai Rochevier. So my names together. It's my Twitch, and if you want to come and follow or have a watch while I race on other days, like tomorrow in Jerez again, feel free to join.
And you can feel free to put in the chat for the Jackknife Racing TV Twitch channel. You can chuck it in the chat there too if you like. And then people that are watching on YouTube can come and find us and follow you. And looks like it didn't go in. All right, we'll sort that out. Thanks, Nikolai. It's been an absolute pleasure. And John, you want to take us home?
Have a nice evening.
See you, Nikolai.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so it was definitely... there was probably more incidents I'd have liked, even a new track like Jerez. So there would be an extensive review. We do need to look at possibly X-limit changes. So
well, it's interesting, right? Because is that because the drivers are driving less clean, or is it because people are just pushing the limits some more? So we'll have to see.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have to do a little bit of a review. But there was a lot of positives as well. Of the race, there was a lot of good racing. Farrington had a good debut in the F3, considering I know I've driven both cars, so that's definitely an interesting mix between a V8 and the F3. Tolman had a good first outing in his first league race as well, so plenty of positives to go forward, but we do need to try and iron out them negatives.
Yep, I think we're always trying to improve, but I think the fact that people are just wanting to come and join and come play in our sandpit, that's a nice, and watch us talk about it on YouTube and Twitch. It's always a nice thing it makes it worthwhile getting out at some stupidly early hours on a Saturday morning. All right, John, thanks for hosting again.
Yep, it was the second session of the night that people didn't see, but it was a great race. It was great to see some really good racing at Jerez. We'll be back next week from France.
With a standing start or two.
With a standing start or two. But we will look forward to seeing you and any feedback as well. So good night, everyone, and thank you for watching.
Good night.